World of YouTube, true crime, and terrible site, and everything else. Keep getting rudely interrupted. No, maybe interrupted by trucks. Anyways, back to the Miss Jenkins story. A photo of her. And yes, something was clarified in one of my answers, or questions, was answered. And the family members did say that Jenkins here was not on any prescribed medication for migraines nor seizure medication. So why was this in her system? Now law enforcement, of course, like I said, says that there's no foul play suspicion. Of course, if there's any type of drug in your body and it's got to do with migraine headaches, obviously that's what they're going with. Oh, she had a migraine, that's why she's taking this medication. You know, it's only common sense to think of one, in this case being in 2017. Wouldn't you be thinking that someone maybe looked up how to use that medication to drug somebody and make them more impaired than what they are to be, especially when a little alcohol is mixed? Only common sense, but yet they still say this case is accidental. The mother did call 911, and I guess she did get called to the hotel that her daughter was at. And when she called 911, like I said in my other video, of course, the surveillance was toyed with, not put up for evidence. Nothing comes clear of anything. Everything is just shifted around, set aside, and not properly investigated. And like the article says here that I have, I will put this one up in the description and the other video. But, yeah, the law enforcement took their time with this case. And, of course, they're going on to be saying because she was black, that's why they didn't jump to it. You know, everybody that is not a child molester, woman beater, child killer, woman rapist, let alone a serial killer, their lives don't matter. Everybody else does. That's the way I look at it. All lives matter, except for that, what I have spoken of. And obviously, right, one of them I just said is a serial killer. So I'm about to wonder if this could be a motel serial killer, traveling from motel to motel. I also say this reminds me of Lisa Lam. She acted strange and funny. And she was on medications, but it shouldn't have led her to her demise. Here we have another distressed girl, all right, with a small amount of drug in her, and is led to, you know, a place where she shouldn't have been. And if that's the case, then I think that she was, both cases, probably led into them spots and murdered. That's right. And I made a mistake on the freezer. Of course, the freezer, they said, was empty and supposed to be shut off. But then again, that don't make it any different than what I said in the other video, that someone, you know, thieves and stuff going into these places. And, you know, if nobody knows that, right, they're going to go there and try to steal, say, soul food or something. And hey, so, but why this, right, walk-in freezer was turned on and it was completely empty. is the question. There's so many questions that need to be answered in this case. And of course, one of them was my main question was, yeah, did she have epilepsy seizures? And why does she have this medication in her system? Family covered that up. And that's right. She didn't need it. She wasn't prescribed it. Someone learned how to use this drug to make you impaired enough to where you will just be so much in a daze and confused that you're not going to know where you're going. And when you lead yourself to somewhere, in the least alarm case, I think she was forced on that roof. This one, she was wandering around and someone caught up with her. But, surveillance didn't pick up nobody, but where the surveillance was not is the question. Was there more ways than one to get to that freezer without being detected? And I guarantee there was. You know, just like the ugly tuna in that Brian case, there was another one where he was intoxicated and went out of, surveillance focus. So, I mean, these places and stuff like this all need to put in more surveillance, because if there is a serial killer out there, which, hell, that's a good possibility, right? Then this poor girl here met her demise by her. I wouldn't be surprised if there's someone going around the country and hitting up these places. Copycat killers, whatever the case may be. That's what I think happened. Honestly, that's right. This is a murder case, I believe. And just because there was no other surveillance looked at, which is pretty stupid to me. I'm sure by now it's all long gone. Could have been a cover-up also. Could have maybe been an employee or something, or employees. But whatever the case may be, I know this was an inside job. And for everybody not to look into it more than what it was, law enforcement, hotel. Yeah, you're left with the question, what happened to this poor girl? Sick. And who, that epilepsy seizure stuff, I'm about to wonder how long it takes to get through your system. So she could have been somewhere, somehow, in some spot where drinks were given, where there was no surveillance, maybe in a room, pop that in the drink and it eventually wears through the bloodstream, gets through your system. Then later on, slowly kicks in, and you're left to be knowing nothing of where you are. And that's what I think happened. This is a suspicious case. It should be really looked at, and for whatever the friggin' motel did with all that other surveillance, man, that place needs to get sued by the family. This is sick. And that was the main question I needed to know. Was she in epilepsy, or did she need this medication for any prescribed symptoms she had, and she didn't? There was nothing. So that was put in her system purposely. And someone looked that up to do their sick, what they wanted to do in their sick kidnapping or murderous ways. Serial killer, a good 80%. I'm for sure 80% somebody that knows and does this all the time, especially hang around in motels. So this will be put in the description box once again. And of course, everybody was on this case because it's just too strange. So, once again, be safe, take care, always beware. Especially hanging around in motels, hotels, any one night, housed. You can call them constant death traps. That's death traps. That's all they are, death traps. Sometimes you walk in and you never come out. Till the next video, folks. Out.